It's strange how life seems to resist us most when we try to control everything. You push harder, plan every move, stress over every detail. Yet, the more you grip, the more things slip through your fingers. And it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're doing too much. There's a reason why the people who seem the most at peace, the ones whose lives just flow, aren't always the ones hustling hardest or micromanaging every step. It's because they trust. They trust themselves. They trust the process. They trust that life knows the way, even when they can't see it. And that trust, it becomes a magnet. It turns pressure into momentum. It turns overthinking into opportunity. It turns waiting into receiving. The reality is, life moves for you when you stop trying to force it. You're not here to control the river. You're here to swim with it. Trust doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means you show up with everything you have, and then you stop choking the outcome. You give your best, and you let the rest unfold. Because the truth is, the more you trust, the more life flows to you, through you, and for you. You see, trust is not blind faith. It's a choice you make every single day, especially when the path looks foggy and your mind is screaming for certainty. Trust says, I don't need all the answers right now. I'll keep moving anyway. Most people wait for life to give them a guarantee before they act. They wait for a sign, a perfect moment, a 100% safe plan. But here's the thing, that moment rarely comes. And because they're stuck waiting, life stays stuck too. Meanwhile, the ones who trust, they build momentum. They don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but they trust that it will. And because of that trust, they open doors they never could have predicted. They meet people they never could have planned for. Opportunities show up when they stop obsessing over how or when they'll arrive. It's like life is testing you. Do you believe enough to move forward without proof? Or do you only move when it's easy and obvious? Because anyone can trust when things are going well. Real power comes when you trust even when nothing makes sense yet. You become lighter. You stop dragging your worries into every conversation. You stop bringing fear into every decision. And in that space, life breathes. New things grow. It's not magic. It's alignment. When you trust, you're finally standing with life instead of against it. And life responds to that. Think about how much stress comes from trying to control everything, trying to force outcomes, trying to predict every detail. It drains you. It hardens you. It makes you clench onto life like a fist, when life was never meant to be squeezed like that. Trust does the opposite. It opens your hands. It opens your heart. It opens your mind to possibilities you didn't even know existed. When you trust, you move differently. You walk into a room, and you're not desperate to impress. You take chances without fear weighing down your steps. You listen more because you're not trying to manipulate the outcome of every conversation. You create space for the best things to find you because you're not constantly blocking them with doubt. And the people around you, they can feel it. Trust is magnetic. It's the quiet energy that says, I'm not chasing, I'm not forcing, I'm allowing. And life mirrors that back to you. The right people, the right ideas, the right moments, they come when you stop being so tense, so afraid, so forceful. But here's where it gets even more real. Trust doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you show up fully, but without the panic, without the desperate need to have it all figured out. Because when you trust deeply, you're free. Free to act boldly. Free to fail and still feel at peace. Free to live without treating life like it's a chessboard you need to master move by move. You start living life instead of managing it. And ironically, when you stop trying to manage every outcome, that's when life actually starts flowing in your favor. When you start trusting life more, something else shifts too. Your relationship with time. Suddenly, you're not in a rush anymore. You stop measuring your days by how much you achieved. You stop treating every hour like a ticking bomb that's going to explode if you don't make the right decision. Instead, you breathe deeper. You realize that the things meant for you aren't going to vanish if you don't chase them frantically. You begin to trust timing. You understand that some things need seasons to grow, and forcing them too early only ruins the process. It's like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to check if it's growing. You kill it with your impatience. But when you trust, you let the seed stay buried in the dark for a while. You water it, you nurture it, you give it sunlight, and you believe that even though you can't see anything happening yet, something powerful is taking root beneath the surface. That's how real transformation happens, quietly, invisibly, before it ever shows up on the outside. When you trust the process, you start noticing all the small signs that you used to overlook. A random conversation that sparks a new idea, a missed opportunity that actually saved you from a mistake, an unexpected detour that led you exactly where you needed to go. The world starts feeling less like a battlefield and more like a dance floor. You're no longer fighting life, you're moving with it. And the more you trust that life isn't working against you, the more life starts handing you things you couldn't have planned, even if you tried. Not because you're lucky, but because you finally stopped getting in your own way. When you truly let trust settle into your life, something even more subtle begins to happen. You become less reactive. You stop flipping out when plans change. You stop overanalyzing every small detail. You stop making up disaster scenarios in your head at every small delay. Instead, you start to see the bigger picture. You realize that not everything needs an immediate reaction. Not every situation demands you jump in and fix it. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is wait. Waiting isn't passive, it's powerful. Because while you're waiting, you're gathering strength. You're building patience. You're letting things unfold in ways you couldn't orchestrate on your own. And what's even crazier, when you trust enough to stop controlling and micromanaging, you begin to notice the opportunities you used to miss. Because you were too busy forcing, you couldn't see what was offering itself to you. That friendship that slowly turned into something meaningful. That job opportunity you almost overlooked because it didn't match your perfect plan. That skill you developed simply because you allowed yourself to explore without pressure. The more you step back, the clearer life gets. It's like trying to solve a giant puzzle. When you're too close, all you see are random, broken pieces. But when you lean back, when you allow yourself some space, you start to see the full picture coming together, piece by piece. And you realize it was never about forcing the puzzle together faster. It was about trusting that each piece was finding its place exactly when it was ready. You stop living in fear. You start living in flow. And that's the real magic most people never experience because they're too busy wrestling with life instead of working with it. When you finally understand that life doesn't respond to desperation but to trust, your whole world starts to breathe differently. You notice you walk slower, you think clearer, you choose better, not because you're trying harder, but because you're finally not trying to force it anymore. Life doesn't need you clenching your fist around it. It needs you open-handed, willing to hold, but just as willing to let go. It's the paradox most people miss. The tighter you grip, the more life slips through your fingers. The looser you hold it, the more it stays. It's like standing in a river. When you thrash against the current, you exhaust yourself and barely move. But when you trust the current, when you allow it to guide you, you start moving effortlessly to places you could have never fought your way toward. This is why trusting isn't just some emotional luxury, it's survival, it's progress, it's growth in its purest form. And the biggest shift? You stop chasing things that aren't for you. You stop spending energy proving yourself to people who don't even know themselves. You stop feeling frantic when something doesn't go your way. Because deep down, you know what's meant for you will not miss you. The truth is, the universe doesn't operate on your timeline. It operates on its own rhythm. And when you sync yourself to that rhythm through trust, you start moving in ways that feel almost supernatural. Conversations happen at the right moment. Connections find you when you're least expecting it. Opportunities appear not because you pushed your way into them, but because you made space for them to arrive. You're not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because you're trying to sprint when life is asking you to walk with it, to trust its steps, to listen instead of shout, to allow instead of demand. And the more you align with that flow, the less you'll need to constantly fix yourself, fix your circumstances, or fix your life. Because you'll start seeing there was never anything broken to begin with, just pieces waiting for you to trust long enough for them to come together naturally. This is where real strength lives, not in control, not in force, not in scrambling, but in presence, in patience, in deep, unshakable trust. Most people live their lives chasing a sense of certainty that doesn't exist. They waste years, even decades, trying to control every outcome, thinking that if they just work hard enough, think hard enough, or plan hard enough, everything will finally click into place. But life isn't a machine you program into perfection. It's more like a wild river, unpredictable, beautiful, and alive. And here's the thing, you can either fight that river every step of the way, exhausting yourself and getting frustrated at every turn, or you can learn to swim with it, trust where it's taking you, and enjoy the ride. Trust isn't weakness. It's not passive. It's not saying, I give up. It's saying, I choose to be part of something bigger than just my own plans. When you let go of the obsession with controlling everything, you open yourself up to experiences you could have never even dreamed of, because true magic happens in the unknown. Think about every moment in your life that truly mattered. Was it perfectly planned? Or did it happen in a way you could have never scripted? The best relationships, the biggest breakthroughs, the most unforgettable adventures, they all started with a moment where you stepped into uncertainty and trusted it. The truth is, life isn't waiting for the perfect version of you. It's waiting for the trusting version of you. The one who doesn't crumble when things don't go exactly as planned. The one who can laugh when life surprises them because they know it's part of the bigger picture unfolding. And ironically, when you start trusting more, things often do work out better than you could have ever forced them to. Opportunities align, people show up, solutions appear, not because you demanded them to, but because you created the space for them. You stopped crowding your life with frantic energy. You stopped sending the universe the signal of, I don't trust you. And instead, you started living like someone who already believes their life is worth trusting. That's the difference between surviving your life and living it. That's the difference between constantly fighting against the current and letting it carry you somewhere extraordinary. And once you feel it, once you experience what it's like to move through life with trust instead of tension, you never want to go back. You realize the cost of control was way too high. You were giving up your peace, your joy, your sense of wonder, all for the illusion of safety that never really existed. Now you choose something better. You choose trust. You choose flow. You choose to believe that life is happening for you, not to you. And that changes everything. When you live with trust, you walk differently. You speak differently. You make decisions not out of fear, but from a deep inner knowing that whatever happens, you'll handle it. You'll grow from it. And somehow, it'll turn out even better than you imagined. You no longer chase people to validate you. You no longer beg situations to unfold a certain way. You simply show up fully, openly, calmly, and let life meet you where you are. That's when the right people notice you. That's when the right doors open. That's when the things you used to stress and obsess over start to find you, instead of you desperately chasing them. And ironically, by letting go, you often end up getting what you once thought you needed so badly. But now it comes without the anxiety, without the desperation, without the fear attached. Because now you're not attached to it. You're bigger than it. You're living from a place of trust. And nothing is more magnetic than someone who trusts their own life. So here's my challenge for you today. Stop trying to force life to happen. Start trusting it to unfold. And when you do, watch how life starts handing you exactly what you're ready for, and even more than you ever asked for. If you're ready to start living that way, drop the word flow in the comments. Let's see how many of us are done with forcing, stressing, and chasing, and are finally ready to trust that life knows what it's doing.